Salam Durian dan salam sejahtera. Today we have a special guest, Madam Fong, from the Sunrise Fruit Hubs Lanchang. Especially today we love to talk about durian intercrop with Calamansi. So before that, can Madam Fong introduce a little bit of your background?
Okay, we are here at the TKPM of Lanchang. So here in Lanchang is 10,000 acre, all dedicated to fruit planting. Buah-buahan lah. Nangka is the primary crop, and there's Calamansi, there's nippies, there's also other fruit crops as well. We are here at the Fruit Hub, Sunfresh Fruit Hub processing facility. This facility is a post-harvest facility. It is a collection, processing and packaging center for post-harvest, which means we process the nangka, we process the calamansi, and other value-added products at this time.
Actually, today the interview with Madam Fong is regarding the intercrop, what we can do after planting durians. So part of the many questions people pose to me, what should I plant? So I would like to share that one of the good choices is Calamansi. First is the tree are not tall, smaller, and at the same time I think 18 months you can start the harvest. So that is one of the choice that we can put in the intercrop that maybe it can create some local income. And also maybe Madam Fong, can you share why Calamansi, that any prospect, and also what is the future of Calamansi?
Calamansi is classified under the Ministry of Agriculture as a herb, not as a fruit. That's why you see Calamansi is being sold along with the vegetables and not at the fruit stands. Yeah, it is a magical fruit. It is a very small, humble fruit, but it is full of antioxidant and high in vitamin C. There's a professor at the MRD Research, Dr. Sudi. In his research, he has revealed that 3 small calamansi will have the antioxidant of 6 green apple, which speaks a lot about the value of this calamansi. This little fruit is found everywhere in Malaysian diet. You know, your teh limau, your ikan bakar, or your chicken rice, the chili sauce in your chicken rice, or your asam laksa or your curry. Everyone will put half a calamansi there, which will give you which will enhance the food, as well as will give you valuable vitamin C. Yeah, okay, but it's a very valuable crop. Okay, so but the sector, the people, the farmers who have been growing calamansi have suffered from low prices all along.
Yeah.
Sometimes the price don't even reach $2, or in the worst time not even $1. Yeah. So I think something has to be done to regulate the demand and supply, to help the farmers, so that they are able to optimize the production, i.e. if the tree can give you 100 kg, we should really take care of the tree and get that amount of productivity. But the problem is when everybody has bumper harvest, then oversupply, then the price drop. Okay, so that is the reason why we come in as very important. The post-harvest processing center, we collect the fruit. Now calamansi cannot last more than a week. It's got a very short shelf life if you don't put it under refrigeration. We will squeeze the juice out of the calamansi, which is really good, and we freeze them. Once we freeze them, they can last 24 months. So you have a lot of time to export, as well as you take away the supply from the market, and then you store them, and then you can release them at other times. Yeah. So what the calamansi industry really needs is a post-harvest processing facility to regulate supply and demand. And I think I'm very happy to report, since we have activated the CBPC here, we have somehow fulfilled part of that role.
Okay.
Last year, for example, we took quite a lot of supply from the market, and you can see, and of course, with other problems as well, like shortage of labor and so on. So the supply in the market has been very limited. 2 days ago, I was at the supermarket. For the first time, I saw the Calamansi price has exceeded that of the nipis.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a very big gap before.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
never happened.
It's never happened.
Yes, it's
happening
never
for the
happened.
first time. So that's one. Number two, I think because of the pandemic, the neighboring countries' demand for Calamansi has also gone up.
Okay.
China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and all because the public knows that you have to use a lot of vitamin C to boost your immunity.
Yeah.
So in a way, the pandemic has raised the awareness. Yeah?
So how big the gap of demand from overseas?
I think it's in the thousands of metric tons.
Oh.
It's very big. Yeah?
So can we fulfill that?
No, Malaysia at the moment, I think we do have the plantation, but because the last mile, which is the harvest, is very labor intensive. You know, I wish the public understand that, you know, we should pay more price for Calamansi because the farmer are using manual labor. Literally, piece by piece, they cut it with the scissors. So it's very labor intensive. So we are challenged by limited labor supply. So like right now, farmers are reporting, yes, they have lots of fruits on the tree, but there's no labor to cut.
As we understand that Calamansi is just a small and tiny fruits. So harvesting is quite tedious. So I think one of the things that we need to look after is that the technique of harvest using the machines. I think that is one of the requirements.
Yeah.
But how about another issue is that any agronomy issues, that any technical issue challenge in the farm, in the field?
Actually, from my own experience, and I think some farmers will tell you, the Calamansi tree is a shrub.
Yeah.
It's a very resilient tree. If you give it enough water and take proper care, it's not like some other crops that is more sensitive, that takes more intensive care. And because also of the climate in Malaysia, we have year-round direct sunlight because we are on the equatorial 10 degree. So the tree actually get lots of sunlight.
Okay.
And they have very robust photosynthesis. The buyers will tell you they prefer Malaysian Calamansi because of its fragrance.
Okay.
Compared to the maybe the crops elsewhere that is further away from the equator. So for domestic consumption, for the health of the nation, as well as for export revenue, and now because of the pandemic, a lot of Asian countries are not importing citrus or importing less. That trade has been disrupted, and some producing countries are also affected by natural disaster. Like Philippines is Asia's largest producer, but last year the typhoons have affected tremendously, and the lockdown. So that's why the market has been disrupted by that. Malaysia has huge land. I think we have almost like 18% of our land under palm oil. I think that's fine, but perhaps all the new planting, new land we are opening up, we should look at diversity.
Yeah.
We should have more food crop like Calamansi, which is for everybody. Durian is not for everybody. Durian is too expensive, yeah?
Durian is more for premium and I think luxury crops.
And it's not an everyday food. Calamansi can be your everyday food. And studies and feedback have shown Calamansi is a very thirst quenching drink. People with diabetic, they tend to complain they feel thirsty very often, and no amount of water can help with that. I have feedback even from people in China who have taken the Calamansi drink, who are diabetic, who have taken the Calamansi drink, and they found that it's very thirst quenching, and it helps with reducing your blood pressure, helps with your blood sugar, helps with your digestion. It's a whole series of benefit, especially the antioxidant coming from this very little fruit. In a way, because the Calamansi has high acid, the acidity is about 2.4 to 4, the pH. So
it's in the juice form,
juice form, and we freeze them, so it's easier to handle compared to some other fruit.
Okay, madam, another question is that regarding the quality. Because when harvest, some maybe harvest too early, some too ripe. So how does the factory balance or manage this issue?
Okay. First of all, we have a requirement on the fungicide and pesticide. Certain countries have a ban on certain fungicide use. For example, carbendazim.
Yeah.
China has a very low tolerance, so we actually advise farms not to use, because you never know, because it's so low that it is detectable. First of all, we qualify the farms, and then we advise them what to use, and then we share with them the best practice from other farms. For example, Mr. Lim's farm, he's done this, then we tell them, why do you learn and you use the same, then you don't have to have a risk of not being able to export your fruit. That's number one. Number two, you're right, farmers tend to just follow the rhythm of nature. Usually I see that they have 4 crops a year, 4 seasons, and you go to see the tree, sometimes you see a flower, you see small fruit, you also see big fruit. Now, this condition does not lend itself for mechanization, because when you mechanize, when you're to harvest, you shake or whatever, everything will drop, including the flowers. For us, in juicing, we want bigger fruits. Bigger fruits gives you better yield. So we use the language of the old 50-cent coin. Now, most of the fruits that you see in the market are 20 cents. So the farmer has to wait until it becomes 50 cents. That means longer time. That means you have to have, maybe instead of 4 crops, you have 3 crops a year. But it makes sense, because from a 20-cent coin fruit to a 50-cent coin fruit, the weight has doubled.
Yeah.
So you will have less labor to pick, but at the end of the day, you sell by weight. So you are still doing better.
Okay.
So this is where we have to tell farmers, they have to have this change in mindset.
Answer to your question, because you said that you have few crops together in the Calamansi. Actually, it's quite simple to solve it. We just need to do the pruning. So induce flowering per batch.
Yes.
So that batch by batch, we actually make the tree healthier, and then we do the pruning.
Easier to work.
Easier to work. So mechanized should be we need just to do some study on that. How can we overcome the problem? Then I think we can solve it.
Yes.
So another thing is that just now talk about regarding that. Does it follow the market? So I think madam, you have mentioned it that we cannot use the carbendazim. But to me is that we also can have an alternate choice that we can go for a biopesticide.
Yes.
So that whereby we can using biopesticide using the fungicide such as biocopper or copper fungicide. Those are that are less residue or less toxicity, and even we can use some kind of insecticide that also biopesticide. So this is a thing with the world of developments. People will look for more healthier and safety either of food or fruits to eat.
Yeah, in fact, following your recommendation, I think if eventually we can help the farmers design an organic program that will really boost the price.
So in terms of how do you do the promotion for the Calamansi? Do you need any promotion for the Calamansi to market it?
Oh yes, I think the DOA and MAFI, now it's called MAFI, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry. I think if the Ministry of Health, MAFI, Farmers Association can all join in a call to all Malaysians to take more Calamansi, which is better for their health. Now I look up the statistics. We have almost 7 million people in Malaysia having diabetic problem. And the government every year spends some 3 billion ringgit just to look after these people with diabetic. For me, I really like to see a healthier Malaysia. So that has to start with food, less carbohydrate, more vitamin C.
I think maybe add to the some extra thing that we know it that every 5 Malaysian now, one are diabetic.
Yeah.
So regarding this Calamansi, actually I have the suggestion for people is that planting Calamansi as an intercrop in Durian, because we know that today's Durian cultivation is getting popular and popular. More and more people join, and also some people are looking for intercrops.
Yes.
But again said, we know that intercrop will be another headache coming in, shortage of labor.
Yes.
Mechanization is the way forward to go.
Yeah.
No other choice, but mechanization, I think the only way forward to go. So talk about the technology of Calamansi management also. Once again, that we need to do some things, plant as such like Durian also. Like Durian in future, I think also that we need to dwarf the tree, shortens,
Yes.
so that the P&D we can do it easily, even harvesting. So Madam Fong, I think thank you so much for your great sharing.
You're welcome.
So we would like to have more inputs and also more sharing from you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.